What's going on, gamers? Looks like we've been having some PlayStation news coming up lately now, too, to change some topics. So Sony is going down a Nintendo route again, aren't they? I guess like when you just see that success, you got to follow it. And, there's nothing wrong with giving PlayStation players more options. I love PlayStation. I love Nintendo. I love Xbox, the Xbox that I knew. I love PC gaming as well, of course. But we have to admit it that they're going down the Nintendo route here. So after having their other model, now PlayStation Portal OLED is scheduled to be announced for 2026. There's a lot to talk about with this. Because it's like, if you see something like this, then that's how you know it's going to be a while till they start focusing on other models to get them released. Like people talking about PlayStation handheld, it's like, if they're going to do this, that handheld's not coming out next year. This gives you the idea that PS6 and the PlayStation 6 handheld, which is going to be like the Switch 2, and going to be dockable, because that's what Sony's going to do. They're going to do everything Nintendo's doing successful. You see what I mean? Like, if you see that, then you know they're not coming out till late 2028. You're putting that on the market that quick, and then the next one's coming out next year. It's like somebody putting a Pro on the market, and then you're saying something is coming out next year. It's like, let's be wise here. They're letting you know this right now. If you cannot see this, I don't know what to tell you, because just think about it, right? It makes sense. So we got Sony doing more Switch aspects, because it's like, here goes this. And I told you the reason why they did the Portal first is because they were kind of scared after the Vita. It was a Wii U situation. They didn't want to do that again and then have that thing not do well. Sony can't afford to do that. And now with all the cancels and all that stuff was going on, if that would have went on along with that at the same time, that would have been too detrimental for them. So they made the intelligent decision, just like Microsoft made the intelligent decision to go with the ROG Ally, though it wasn't successful really at all. That's already done. But it's better that that happened through OEM, through Asus, than you trying an official handheld and being in that state and you put your actual teams on that. No, right decision. But the Portal was actually successful. You see, and then Sony made some updates over time to make it better. It didn't start off that way, honestly. It was kind of like rough for a while. And because they see the light now for changing things and making it better and even beating Microsoft in their cloud aspects, they're going to be doing an OLED model. And I think a lot of people are going to like this when they have that ability to stream like that and not need a PlayStation. And then there's even rumors that it may be 120 hertz. Like I said, you kind of see the model that they're following. We got an article we're going to be reading on Insider where it's coming from too. So let's take a look at some of these comments and see what people think here. It says, if it doesn't support 4K or even 2K, then it's not worth the upgrade if you have the base Portal. That depends. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, if it's just the same thing, but here's OLED, but you're not giving me like an upgrade from that, I can understand that, but I think they will at least do 2K or something. But even then, people like their OLEDs, and if you didn't have one at all, you might be interested in doing that. But I get what he means. Like, there's no reason to spend that, because this is going to cost probably $100 more in today's market if you want to mass manufacture with stuff. I don't know. I think they're definitely going to charge probably $100 more. I think it should be 50 more. Nintendo was the wisest one because they always do stuff like that. He says, I had one. The input lag is terrible. I think Sony has made it a lot better over time. It needs Wi-Fi 6, not Wi-Fi 5. I don't care about the OLED. It just needs a better Wi-Fi chip and better analog sticks. I see. And there's a lot of people that are talking about that. I don't know. I never had one and I never will. I'd be interested in a PlayStation handheld, but even then, I'm not really. I'm more interested in a PS6. I have what I need. Because when it comes to these type of devices, they're extensions of the main source, kind of like PC. Except this time, it's literally console ecosystem, so it's an extension of that accessory. It's not an OEM, it's Sony's official accessory. So I can give them credit for that in a way. And once again, they're testing the market intelligently instead of just saying, oh, no, we're going to be arrogantly cocky and just drop the handheld and let's do this. It's like, that would have been a mistake, Sony. So he says, no surprise, Portal sold well. I mean, it sold decently. OLED screen, better Wi-Fi, and 120 hertz screen price range, maybe $349. So I don't think the price would just go up by 100 because of the OLED. Though that's a possibility, but I think they're going to add a lot more to it. We're going to get into this article and read it. We're just looking at some of these comments. He says with 120 hertz, it's day one for me. So it looks like they might be doing that. Okay, that's very interesting. Interesting, but there are a few things they need to improve. It needs Wi-Fi 6. A lot of people are saying that. Separate BT antenna, better battery, connection with the PS4. I don't know if they're even thinking about the PS4, dude. I think that that's not the case here. So Let's go to this article and see. PlayStation Portal OLED schedule for 2026. A new claim states that the PlayStation is developing an OLED version of the Portal. Following the success of the original, we have heard about several leaks about the upcoming PlayStation 6 handheld over the past year, with reports that it will be dockable, not as powerful as the PlayStation 5, and more surfacing online. Now, new information has surfaced online on the existing PlayStation handheld, the Portal. PlayStation Portal OLED model is reportedly in development. The claim about the PlayStation Portal OLED model comes from Kepler L2 on NeoGAF. In the thread, Kepler first mentioned that the PlayStation handheld will be RDNA5 before discussing the Portal. Oh man, I mean, if they're gonna go for RDNA5 for the PlayStation Portable, coming like with PS6 and stuff, then I think will be pretty nice. They then stated that the original Portal model seems to be a success, with PlayStation working on another version this year. And Sony used to own TVs, like, because they're selling some of their TV stuff to TCL, but they still have, like, you know what I mean, rights and stuff. So I think they can probably find deals with that where they don't have to worry about that because of the connections they have in the market. When asked which version they were referring to, Kepler responded, OLED version. The PlayStation Portal received a surprise cloud streaming update last year, as we know it was really good, adding the ability to stream select PS5 games directly to the devices with PlayStation Plus Premium. The library includes some big game names like Astrobot, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Fortnite, Ghost of Yotei, GTA 5. Pretty sure you're going to have GTA 6 on there because you'll just be streaming it. Resident Evil 4, Cyberpunk 2077, God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, you know, and all those games, Last of Us 2. So if you think about that, getting GTA 6 streaming too with the OLED, people might be interested if they can get a higher resolution. Sony has some going here. With the new update, the PlayStation Portal OLED model would be more attractive to new customers. However, we have yet to receive official confirmation, so readers should take this information with a grain of salt for now. I can understand that, but I think it's pretty plausible. Definitely in the year of GTA. Hopefully. You never know with that game. But I don't think Rockstar can afford to delay it anymore. In other news, a recent claim states that Xbox's dedicated handheld was canceled as AMD required 10 million units. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's what happened. Additionally, PlayStation Store seems to have inadvertently confirmed an incoming Kingdom Come Deliverance PS5 upgrade. What are your thoughts on an OLED version of the Portal? Will you be interested in purchasing it? So here's the interesting thing. Kepler usually has some good information. So I don't think he's just going to pull this out of his behind and flash it in front of people. I think there's something to this. And Sony's also been preparing for other things. So I think they're also going to test the market with this. And you should test the market with this because they're just doing Nintendo methods. When you think about really who runs the handheld industry historically, I mean, they are like the way they dominate Japan, dominate the handheld industry. You look at the PC market, the whole of the PC market got passed up by the Switch 2 in totality in a few months. I've been being there for years. You know what I mean? The Switch 2 is already probably at 17 million right now or something. And you look at the lifetime legacy of the PC handheld market, I mean, it's very niche. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you think about all those things, what is it, like 5 million sold, 5.5 million at most, 6 maybe, if we want to be generous or something. And that's it. That's how tough that market is. Because when you think about the history of handhelds, and I've been telling people this for a long time, it's defined by the way Nintendo has led it because they're the leaders. And that's never going to change. So if you're not gonna agree with that, I don't know what to tell you. It's not Valve, it's not any of them, it's Nintendo. They've been doing this for, I mean, 30 something plus years. You know what I mean? You're not gonna just come in there for a few years and think that, oh, they're leaders. Like, come on, man, let's stop playing games here. But if you look at it historically, how it has always worked, it is based off of a dedicated market with its own games that is not an extension of something else. That's why the Switch 2 and the Switch 1 sold 157 million. That's what how handhelds always were. And then who took it to the next level again by combining it with something else and docking it? Nintendo. They're always innovative geniuses. That's what Gabe Newell was saying. He was like, I'm jealous of their ability because how good they are at innovating hardware and syncing it with their base and their software harmoniously. And they've been doing it for a long time. And then they have their evergreen titles that last forever. Valve likes that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like, here, people still playing Counter-Strike. Like those formulas, they've learned a lot for that. That's not bad. That's good because you realize what works in the gaming industry, and it's not about power. Steam Deck didn't chase power. Steam Machine is not chasing power. Valve is exactly doing what Nintendo is doing, except they're keeping it in their ecosystem, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sony is kind of doing the same thing here, where it's like you're learning from somebody's wisdom and knowledge, and you're trying to better yourself, not make yourself worse. That's what somebody smart would do. Now, some people can say from the Nintendo world, they're always ripping off. I'm like, to an extent, that's possible, but then like you have to like go somewhere. You know what I mean? To the extent of like, how do I get the best thing from my point of view, from my perspective, from my in-house? The best thing to remedy that from a PlayStation side or from Sony is to give credit to Nintendo. Because by doing it, you're like, yeah, I mean, you know, we love Nintendo. They gave us a lot of good ideas and the best inspiration. And, you know, because of their success in the handheld industry, all of us are doing this. If there was no success, we would have all deemed it dead because we can't do that. They're the ones that did that. This is called respecting the root and respecting the master. That's what intelligent people do. Like if you're in martial arts, you say, man, I respect my master no matter what. No matter how good I am, no matter how good these branches go out. Just like when I think about UFC or MMA, I'm like, you better respect Bruce Lee no matter what. You see what I mean? Because it's like, realize who made it possible. And that is just a higher quality character to me. Not disrespecting the root, but realizing why this is possible, because these are branches. And there's nothing wrong with having more branches. I welcome it. You know what I mean? It's like I welcome the Steam Machine. I think it's going to be nice to come in. I welcome the Steam Deck too. I welcome the PlayStation Portal OLED. I welcome the PS6 handheld. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with more gaming aspects. That's not a bad thing. It's more about let's keep the respect here because that shows how mature we are. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. I think this is a good idea by Sony, definitely in the year of GTA 6. They could possibly get something going with that for people who want that on the go because it's not available on PC. And it's going to be a way of playing GTA 6 in handheld. Hey, I'm just saying, that's a smart idea. So, yeah, let me know, guys. Peace out. Keep gaming no matter what platform you're on.